This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the first of 3 new $80,000 recycling hubs has been opened in central Dunedin. A scheme to reduce food waste from cafes has been launched in Dunedin this week. And many southern residents are joining people across the country hoping to win the second highest lotto jackpot in New Zealand's history. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Daryl Baser. The first of 3 new recycling hubs in Dunedin was officially opened this morning. The $80,000 hub has been installed in Moray Place, and its official unveiling was marked with a recycled ribbon pulling ceremony. Open for business.
I now declare this facility open for business.
This $80,000 recycling hub on Dunedin's Moray Place was opened for public use this morning. Dunedin City Council Waste Minimisation Officer Lee McKenzie says the increase in apartments around the inner city led to the need for a recycling hub.
Residents in the CBD are going to have access to a recycling service. At the moment, residents that live in apartments or in the central area don't have curbside recycling like residents in the suburb areas do.
She says the containers will be emptied 2 to 3 times a week, depending on need. They're on land owned by the Countdown supermarket chain, and acting store manager Grant McEwen says it's good for the company.
It's great to be part of the initiative from the DCC, but it really ties in nicely what we're focusing on these days, and that's waste reduction and recycling. So good to be part of that community initiative.
The hubs were designed by Dunedin artist Stuart Griffiths to reflect the area's economic history, when it was a home to plumbers, metal founders and manufacturers. The artist says he started by researching the area's industrial history and went from there.
And drawing a picture is the beginning. A conceptual idea needs to be worked and basically discovered actually, and promoted and agreed upon. That's the direction we're going to take.
Griffiths has been working with fabricator Laurie Forbes on the project after their company Zeal Art won the tender to create these recycling stations. The company won the tender with help from Dunedin environmental consultancy firm Ahika.
Ahika worked very closely with Zeal Steel. We put in a tender for the Dunedin City Council to design, install and manufacture the 3 new inner city recycling hubs. And so Ahika led that. We're the project managers for it, and we work then with everybody we need to ensure that we get this up and running.
3-year-old Willem was among the first people to use the recycling stations and says he enjoyed the experience, particularly the loud sound made when he dropped glass into the chute.
It's good.
2 more urban recycling hubs are set to be opened in the coming weeks, one in conjunction with the University of Otago and the other with Otago Polytechnic. In Dunedin, The South Today. Dunedin police were called to a single vehicle collision with a power pole last night. The incident occurred at the corner of Aberdeen Road and Sutcliffe Street in St Clair just after 5 p.m. 2 people were taken to Dunedin Hospital with minor injuries following the crash. Police say the road was blocked for a short time. A scheme to cut back on wasted food in cafes was launched in Dunedin this week. The new approach uses a mobile app which connects the public to food retailers and eateries with discounted and surplus food.
Welcome to the 21st century. Dunedin City Council has helped launch a mobile phone app program allowing cafes to list the food they discount to help clear their shelves at the end of the day. Using the app, shoppers can pay for their item via their mobile phone and simply claim it when they walk into the cafe.
Cafes at the end of the day or partway during the day when they've got food that they know they're not going to be able to sell that would otherwise go to landfill, they can load it up to the app and customers can buy it through the app at half price and just come in and collect it.
Dunedin City Council Good Food Dunedin Project Coordinator Ruth Zynert says the mobile phone app helps hungry shoppers find cheap food near the end of the business day and potentially brings in customers a cafe would otherwise not have. And the results are good for the environment.
Food makes up a third of the entire waste that goes to landfill, and obviously once it goes to landfill it creates a lot of greenhouse gas.
Called Foodprint, the software was recently launched in Auckland, with Dunedin not far behind.
When we heard about Foodprint and how well it was doing in Auckland, we contacted them and said, hey, would you like to use Dunedin as your second city? And they jumped at the chance. So yeah, it's all happened very quickly and we're really thrilled.
Zynert says more than 20 eateries in Dunedin have already joined the mobile app. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The threat of a pipe bomb at a property investors meeting was made on the social media platform Instagram last night. Dunedin police were alerted to the threat about 5 p.m. prior to a meeting of property investors in Tahuna. Police say the person who made the threat hasn't been located and their inquiries are ongoing. Plenty of people across the south are dreaming of winning big with tonight's $42 million Powerball set to be drawn in a few hours. Business has been brisk for one of Otago's luckiest lotto outlets, with some customers hoping the store's past successes will increase their chances.
All eyes will be on tonight's Lotto Powerball draw, which has jackpotted to $42 million, making it one of the highest ever lotto prizes in New Zealand. While the chance of winning is a slim 1 in 38 million, it's not stopped plenty of people dreaming about what they'd spend their winnings on.
Well, we've got an extended family, so we'd probably do something for them, but it's too much money really. You'd have to give it away.
Oh, pay off the mortgage for real, set up the kids, go on a holiday.
Probably take it back to the UK, unfortunately. But my family that live in Christchurch, I'd give them a couple of bob.
Pay off our mortgage and travel, I would say.
I'd probably buy a house. I'd give most of it away, probably.
Murray Devereaux says his night and day store in South Dunedin is popular amongst the more superstitious ticket buyers, as it's officially one of Otago's luckiest lotto outlets.
When we opened in the first 4 months, we sold 3 First Division tickets and a Powerball ticket, as well as a top prize and a scratchy as well.
He says it's not unusual for some customers to purchase their tickets at a certain time of day, hoping to increase their chance of hitting the jackpot.
There's plenty of people with rituals and stuff and superstitions, and sometimes people will be in a queue and then decide to go behind someone because they want a certain time.
And if you thought $42 million was crazy money, spare a thought for the unfortunate 4 people who have each won the top prize in the Euro Millions lottery, a prize of €190 million. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we catch up with riders and others taking part in the annual Southern Cavalcade in Central Otago and check in with the Highlanders ahead of their home game against the Rebels. See you after the break.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. MolMap is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
No mai anō, welcome back. Each year the cavalcade gives horse riders, wagon drivers, walkers and cyclists a taste of backcountry central Otago. It's one of the longest journeys is the Light Wagon and Riding Trail, which this year has people travelling for about 8 hours a day for 7 days, from Terrace to Paetiaroa.
The Tussock Creek Light Wagon and Riding Trail is just one of this week's cavalcade trails, seen here crossing the Manuherikia River yesterday. One of the trail participants is Brenda Harland, who has taken part in all 28 cavalcades, and says the camaraderie keeps her coming back each year.
Great, enjoyable, a real nice crowd, all a happy lot.
Harland is enjoying the excuse to get around using horse-drawn transport and says she's been around horses her whole life.
From rodeos to show jumpers to travelling around New Zealand.
Each year the organisers try and devise new trails for riders and wagon drivers to enjoy. This year's Light Wagon and Horse Trail is 7 days long, having set out from Terrace on Saturday, and Harland is enjoying the experience.
I love the country. I love out on the country and all the people. It's just, it's good,
All the cavalcade trails are set to converge on the Maniatoto community of Paetiaroa this coming Saturday. In central Otago, the South today.
After losing against the Crusaders last week, the Highlanders are hoping to apply lessons they've learned when they face the Melbourne Rebels on Friday night. It's the first home game since the start of the university year, and players are hoping for some extra motivation from a crowd of loud and cheering students.
After missing 30 tackles and suffering a 33-13 loss against the Crusaders in Christchurch last Friday, the Highlanders are aiming to learn from past mistakes for this Friday's match against Melbourne Rebels.
You know, it was a great challenge to take on the Crusaders in Christchurch. They're a quality team, and they make you pay when you're not on your game 100% mentally. So I think all of their tries came from little lapses in our concentration and just things that we could stop easily.
The Dunedin-based team have acquired a stable of new young players, and assistant coach Tony Brown says the team's still learning to identify key moments.
Basically helping each other be successful on the field, and that's around scanning, communicating where the space is, and against the Crusaders we did some really good things, and we're just not far away around, I suppose, just being really clinical on attack.
Daniel Leonard-Brown has been a key part of the team's well-functioning scrum over this year's first month of Super Rugby. and the prop says a win will help give them momentum for their upcoming trip to South Africa.
We're pretty excited to be here in front of our fans this week. The students are back, so hopefully the zoo's hissing for us. It'll be awesome to put a good performance out in front of our home crowd and hopefully a pumping zoo. A win at home will definitely sort of help us going overseas.
The game against the Rebels kicks off at Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium just after 7 p.m. this Friday. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, a 19th century hotel in Waimaru may be opening again soon, and we have a look at the weather, including the outlook for Thursday and beyond. See you soon.
Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for sticking around. Waimaru's Criterion Hotel is set to reopen and continue to run as a hotel, but exactly when that will happen continues to be under wraps. The landmark hotel in the town's Victorian precinct dates back to 1877 and has had a number of owners in recent years. The building was purchased by the Waimaru Whitestone Civic Trust last year. The Trust says negotiations are continuing with prospective tenants, and an announcement about the building's future is expected in the next couple of weeks. The Trust says it's planning to reopen the premises as a hotel. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The first of 3 new $80,000 recycling hubs has been opened in Dunedin this morning at a ribbon cutting ceremony. A scheme to reduce food waste from cafes has been launched in Dunedin this week, hoping to put food in bellies, not landfills. And many Dunedin residents are joining people across the country hoping to win the second highest Powerball jackpot in New Zealand's history. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Day Times. Welcome, Mr. Hayden Meikle. Kia ora, Hayden.
Good evening, my friend Daryl. How are you?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Excellent. Good. What have we got today? Some bits and pieces. We've got the Otago Regional Council hiking rates 9.1%. So
that's huge.
That's going to get some reaction, obviously, especially from people sort of in the rural hinterland paying big ORC rates. Coronavirus, or COVID-19 as we need to call it now, it just carries on. Some interesting thoughts in tomorrow's paper from Associate Professor Brian Cox at Otago University. He's got some very strong feelings about the fact it would be a major failing of our public health services and infection control if the virus does indeed land here and spread, so that'll be well read. Lovely wee story about penguins. Who doesn't love our penguins? So these endangered yellow-eyed penguins, of course critically endangered yellow-eyed penguins up there, up the coast near Moeraki. Penguin Rescue had about 48 of them, I think, sort of raising them by hand, and 25 of them were released today, or at least were given the opportunity to be released. Some of the penguins, I think, decided they didn't want to go into the sea and they'd rather just hang around on land for a while. So
shy penguins, maybe?
Little shy penguins, so that's probably fair enough. We've got an interesting yarn about a famous double-decker bus and a bunch of young Englishmen who toured New Zealand in it in the swinging 60s, and they took in, I think, the Blossom Festival in Alexandra and went rafting down the Clutha River or something. Some of them are back in New Zealand, and the BBC is actually doing a documentary on their amazing travels, so that should be quite interesting. In fact, I'm looking forward to reading more about that story myself. And the big go in sport, of course, is the New Zealand Open golf. So it's a week where I always feel a little bit wistful. I covered 4 of those myself. It's a great week, and our Steve Hepburn is up there at the golf, and he'll have all of the previews in tomorrow's paper and the thoughts from our leading Kiwi contenders. So go Ryan Fox and the rest of the Kiwis. It'd be lovely, always lovely to see a Kiwi winner of our biggest golf tournament.
Indeed. Well, my handicap is my swing and my putting and my driving. What's yours?
Yeah, all that and more, actually. I love covering the sport, but playing it, no, not for me.
Shocking. All that and more in tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Hayden. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the Southern View, a piece of street art in an alleyway on Dunedin's Stewart Street. Looking at the situation, a cold front brings rain to southern districts tomorrow, with a westerly airflow likely to remain for a couple of days as more fronts pile in to the Tasman Sea. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at cloudy skies with showers and 21 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a cloud or two and 23 degrees. Heading down to Canterbury, Kaikoura can expect the odd cloud and 25 degrees. Christchurch should prepare for similar conditions and 26, while Ashburton should expect grey skies and 24 degrees. To the southern towns, those in the Catlins, Balclusa, Lumsden and Gore can all expect fresh westerlies with showers. The Catlins and Balclusa aim for 19 degrees, Lumsden 18, and it should reach 17 in Gore. Popping across to central Otago, most centres in this area are due for moderate northerlies and some high cloud. Wanaka and Alexandra head for 24 degrees, Queenstown 23, and Te Anau, you should have fresh southwesterlies, showers and 17 degrees. To the northern towns, on the coast, Timaru and Oamaru are due to have moderate northeasterlies and high cloud, Timaru 24, Oamaru 23. Looking inland, Twizel and Omarama are due for moderate northwesterlies, high cloud with 25 degrees for you each. In Otipoti, Dunedin, clear skies tonight with an overnight low of 12 degrees. Mild temperatures tomorrow with low cloud at first, then sunny periods and high cloud increasing, but watch for a late southerly change. A high of 22 and a low of 11. On Friday, any early cloud or showers should clear, leaving sunny periods increasing with moderate northeasterlies. A high of 21 and a low of 13 degrees. And in Invercargill, some rain tonight with an overnight low of 13 degrees, rain at first tomorrow with gusty northwesterlies, but showers and colder southwesterlies develop from the middle of the day, a high of 18 and a low of 10. Mostly cloudy on Friday with a few scattered showers at times and fresh westerly winds, a high of 16 and a low of 10. And that's all from the South Today team for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.